Got it. Got it. All right, guys. Well, we're here today to talk about the wonderful world of discovery and information confirmation. In my 16 steps, that's steps 6 and 7, but we're going to take it a little more in depth today. How many of you, and I can't see all of you, but how many of you are actually getting leads that Tina is providing? You can put your hands up in your little, there you go. Okay. So we're gonna tie this in a little bit to that today as well, because discovery is the key to all sales. It is like your key to the happiness world is really what it is, to the promised land. And if you don't do discovery properly, then you are going to fall flat on your face with these people, and you're not going to have the conversion rate that you want. I don't care if it's open houses. I don't care if it's leads that you're returning phone calls. I don't care if it's a referral. If you're not doing discovery properly, you're not going to get anywhere truly with the client, or you might by chance, but why leave it to chance? That doesn't make sense. So one of the things that agents do on a regular basis is start selling during discovery. Okay, you get all excited. You get somebody on the phone, or you get somebody in your open house, and they start telling you what they want. And what do? You automatically start going in your head in this whole dialogue of, okay, I just saw a home just like that. I can definitely find that for them. You know what? I should tell them what home I saw. And you start talking to them automatically, kind of almost cutting them off with, oh, you know what? I have the perfect home for you. I saw it the other day. I mean, I know that there's other homes, but I want to go ahead and let you know about the one that I saw. Well, you didn't get to the why. Why are they looking for the things that they're looking for? And the thing that you need to remember always in sales is emotion backed by logic. If you don't get to the emotional why, then you can't bring it up later. The emotional why is their dominant buying motive. A dominant buying motive can be family, safety, and security. It can be financial security. It could be about the money or an investment. Okay, but even an investment is an emotional reason when you really get down to it, because an investment means that they are trying to gain something by having that investment. So you have to be the person that leads them down a road to figure out why they want and need the things that they want and need. So how do you do that? Well, when you're at an open house and they come back after looking through the home, if you're following my first 5 steps of setting them free, waiting for them to come back, then when they come back, first you want to build commonality with them. And you want to kind of break that barrier even more. Their task tension has already come down to a level where they start opening up to you. So maybe you saw a t-shirt that she had on when they walked by that you really like, or you found something on it that was funny. You can talk about that. Maybe you like their shoes. Maybe you saw his hat and it said that they were from Kansas and you've been to Kansas and maybe you have family there. So whatever it is that you can grasp onto to find commonality. But guess what? It's no different on the phone. When you're calling somebody, you have a harder time of breaking down those barriers because they're not in front of you. You don't get the first, second, and third face with them. And so you've got to figure out how to build commonality. The very first thing that you should do when you talk to these people is thank them for getting in touch with you. Be appreciative of the opportunity to have a call with them. So if you're calling them back because it's a lead that Tina just passed over to you, then the very first thing that you're going to say, oh, I'm so glad I got you on the phone. Thank you so much for reaching out for more information. We really appreciate you. Well, that disarms them because they're not expecting you to thank them for reaching out. They're just not. Then you can go into, I see here that, you were looking into homes, blah, 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 blah. So would it be all right if we can start talking about that? What exactly are you looking for? What are you looking at? How many bedrooms would you like? Oh, okay. You want 4 bedrooms. How many bathrooms would you like? What are you hoping for? And always use the words, what are you hoping for? And I'll tell you guys some stories here in a minute because I have some doozies this week. But you want to ask them, what are you hoping for? Because that also sets the stage that nothing is a guarantee. In this world of real estate right now, nothing is a guarantee. They might have to compromise a little bit. So the word hoping for is already preparing them mentally and psychologically for the fact that they may need to compromise a little bit to get a home. So you're going down the list. Well, they say, well, we really want 4 bedrooms. Okay. How come 4 bedrooms is important to you? That's a second level question. Well, because we have 3 kids. Oh, okay. You have 3 kids. How old are your kids? Start asking them about their kids, because more than likely, all of the decisions they're going to be making revolve around their kids in most cases. So you want to start asking, oh, okay, how old are your kids? Great. So they're 10, 13, and 15. Wow, you have a wide range. You have 1 in elementary school, you have 1 in middle school, and you have 1 in high school. Yeah, that's probably a lot of driving around for you. It is. So you're going to get all of that out and empathize with who they are and the obstacles that they overcome on a regular basis in their daily life. Think about it. If you have an elementary school child, 1 in middle school, and 1 in high school, who's doing all the driving? Okay, so just you saying, wow, you have your hands full with getting them everywhere that they want to go, don't you? All of a sudden, you're hitting that heart moment inside of them like, yeah, it's a lot. She understands. He understands my life already. That's good. So now you're putting yourself in a place where you're building that commonality and that understanding. Say, okay, so you need 4 bedrooms. As far as bathrooms, are you hoping for 2 bathrooms, 3 bathrooms? What would you like? And then you start writing it down. Okay, I can totally understand why you probably need 3 bathrooms. Okay, because you already told me that Cindy, obviously she's a girl. So you got the boys, you got the girl, everybody's battling for the bathrooms all the time. And you're being a real person with them when you're having this conversation. Then you go on to, okay, so have you looked at the areas around town? Have you even looked to see what's around or where you would like to be? Well, yeah, we really like this area over here. Okay, great. And what is it about that area that you like? That's the next level question. You guys are stopping at the, okay, what area would you like to be in? You're not taking it to the next level where it's, okay, why would you like to be in that area? What is it about that area that appeals to you? Because you may find out some things in that question. Well, we really like that the water's over there. We saw a really nice park over there for the kids. And they have this amazing dog park. We have a dog. We love to take our dog to the dog park. Oh, okay, you have a dog. What kind of dog do you have? Do you see how this is a different conversation than what you guys are probably having right now? You're actually having a conversation with them. You're finding out who they are, what they're about. All right, now back. So I know that's the area that you want to be in. Now with the home, other than the bedrooms and the bathrooms, what are the most important features to you in a home? What makes a home for you? Is it the kitchen? Is it the backyard? What is it? Oh, well, I have to have a big kitchen. Oh, okay. Are you a good cook? Well, no, it's not that I like to cook. It's that I like to have parties. Oh, you like to have parties. You're an entertainer. Okay. All right. And you're just going down and you're like, okay, so because we're stopping, I guarantee you guys are stopping at the, okay, they want an open, bigger kitchen. Done. Moving on. Why are you not asking why? Like, are you a good cook? Do you like to cook? Do you like to have a lot of people over? You're going to want to ask these questions and dive deeper. Now, why do you guys think that we're diving deeper? What is it about these questions that I'm asking right now that you guys are hearing? Talk to me. Unmute before you try to talk to me. Come on, I'm not doing this for my health. You guys have to participate.
you're establishing a relationship with them, personalizing different things that they're looking for in their next home rather than just what everybody else is doing when they contact them.
Exactly. Exactly. Because, and you're building rapport. Yes, you're building trust. I saw that in the comments. That's exactly what you guys are doing. Because here's the thing, they may get called by several other agents, or maybe they've walked into your open house and they've been to 3 other open houses that day. And everybody's asking them the same surface questions, the same ones. How do you get to be different? Because different is what sells you. How do you become different than all of the other agents that they've met or spoken to on the phone? It's by actually taking an interest in who they are and what makes them tick. So as you're going through this whole thing, right? And you find out things about people. You find out, well, actually, we need a 4th bedroom because my mother-in-law is going to have to move in with us because she's got cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Acknowledge the pain that they just told you. Acknowledge it. I'm so sorry. It's really nice for her that you guys are willing to do that, though. Have her move in with you. I mean, I applaud you for that because it's not going to be easy, is it? Empathize with their situation. People are not always out looking to buy homes because everything is bright and cheery in their life. Always remember that. People sometimes are out to buy homes because of necessity of situation. And we have to uncover what that necessity of situation is, because you better believe when I'm out showing them homes, I'm going to bring up the mother-in-law who has cancer. And when I'm showing them a home, I'm going to say, okay, what room do you think is going to be the best room for her? Because this is part of their dominant buying motive, is taking care of this mother-in-law. And do you think this is going to be suitable for her, this bathroom? Is she going to be able to get in and out of that tub? Or are you going to need to make some alterations to that tub? Okay. Just the fact that you're thinking of those things when you're showing the home to them makes all the difference in the world. And that's what brings you closer to them. That's what makes you have that relationship with them. Without those things, you're just another salesperson. They can literally not talk to you tomorrow and go find 10 more of you that are just like the person who doesn't care. So those dominant buying motives are super important for that reason, because when you are showing them, you're going to pull them out of your back pocket. Now, as you're going through and you're getting to their why do they need 4 bedrooms? What is it about a big kitchen that's important? Okay, so you want a pool and a really nice backyard. What is it about the backyard for you? Is it because you like to entertain, or is it because you want a peaceful place to just be by yourself? I want you guys to hear that question. Okay, is it because you like to entertain and have people over, or is it because you want a nice, quiet, serene place for yourself that you can just enjoy your backyard? You would be surprised how many people tell you it's because they want a serene, quiet place. I had a client a couple of years ago that she told me, she said, Tina, I have to have the backyard has to be private. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then I even joked with her. I'm like, Sherman, are you out there naked? Like, what are you doing? She starts laughing hysterically. And she's like, no, you're going to think this is really ridiculous, but I'm going to tell you. I'm like, okay, tell me. Well, every morning I like to get up without doing my hair or my makeup. And she goes, and you can see my hair is short. Imagine what it looks like in the morning when I haven't done it yet. It's all sticking straight up. I'm like, okay. She goes, and I don't put any makeup on, and I don't let anybody see me without makeup on, Tina. She said, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to have my cup of coffee. I'm going to sit on my back porch. I'm going to enjoy the beauty of my serene place. And then I'm going to go in and get ready for my day. And then that's when people can actually see my face, which I'm assuming is going on with all of you that don't have your screens on right now. So, but that was a big thing to her. And every single home that we looked at, I had her go in the backyard, sit down in one of the patio chairs, see how she felt about it, feel comfortable of whether people could see her or not, envision herself in that backyard, because that was important to her. That is how she started her day every single day. So if I didn't ask her why the backyard being private was so important to her, I would never know that to make sure she got that time out there. Now, here's the other thing that I want to point out. If you guys are asking them questions and then you start talking more than them, you need to learn to shut your mouth. Discovery is not the time for you to be rattling on and on and on. This is your time to listen. You ask a question, you listen. You ask another question, you listen. That is your job, or you will miss something. I have an agent on my team who would do discovery and ask people questions, and then she did this really annoying thing. They would be talking and she would be going, yeah. So I was watching this dynamic one day in front of a client, and I saw this gentleman stop talking. He felt that every time she did that she was rushing him to finish his sentence so that she could talk. So in the car on the way home after this meeting, every time she would talk, I started doing that to her. I didn't say anything to her. I just started doing it. And all of a sudden she looks at me and she's like, "Why are you doing that?" I said, "Because I'm showing you what you just did to your client." She was mortified. She was like, I do that? I'm like, "Oh yeah, you do that a lot. Somebody's speaking to you and you're like, yeah, You think you're acknowledging what they're saying. You're actually stopping them from communicating with you because they feel like you're rushing them or you're really not listening. The key to discovery is actually listening. I don't care where your clients come from. Discovery is the same. You have a goal to get to know them better, to ask them what they're hoping for, and to find out why they're hoping for it. That is your objective in discovery. Let's say it again. To get to know them, to find out what they're hoping for, and to find out why they're hoping for that. That is your job. Then you get to go into information confirmation. Now, at any point have I said start selling? No. You have not earned the right, my friends, to start selling yet. You haven't even earned the right to set up a search yet, to set an appointment with them yet. You haven't earned the right to do anything. First, you must confirm with them. It's called information confirmation. So this is how this looks. Okay, Sally, George, I just want to repeat all of this back to you to make sure that I understand what you're hoping for and why you're hoping for those things. If at any point I'm incorrect, please let me know, or if I forgot something. So what I'm understanding here is that you need a 4-bedroom, you need a 3-bath. The kitchen is very important to you because you like to entertain and have people over. The backyard is very important to you, and a pool because you want to keep the kids entertained with the pool and you want their friends to want to come over to your home to hang out with them. You're tired of your kids being everywhere else to hang out with everybody else. You want the pool so that they come to your home. You also want the peace and quiet in the backyard to enjoy your coffee in the morning, which is very important to you because that's how you start your day. Now, You also mentioned that your mother-in-law is going to be joining you because she has cancer. And again, I'm sorry for that. And we want to make sure, I'm sure that the bathroom that she's going to be using is going to be equipped for her, whether I have to introduce you to a contractor or whether it's exactly what you need for her. And there's going to be a lot of care involved with that. So one of the things that we're specifically going to be looking for when we look for your home is to make sure that we can accommodate that need specifically. Now, did I leave out anything at this point that you're hoping for? How many of you can do that? How many of you are currently doing it? Kinda, maybe, but are you doing it that in depth? That's the question you have to ask yourself is, are you doing it that in depth? Right, not as thorough, Lisa says. Okay, I want you to think about that, because if you miss this step of information confirmation, then they don't know whether you heard them or not. Information confirmation is the confirmation that you heard everything that they said, that you didn't try to sell them anything at this point, and that you were actually listening. You didn't just hear what they said in conversation, you were actually listening and understand them as people. People just want to be heard. People want to know that you care. People want to know that they're not just a number to you or a dollar sign. That is why discovery and information is so crucial. Because if you do it wrong and you forget all of these steps, you don't breed loyalty in your clients. I hear agents all the time telling me, I don't know what's going on. I'm not converting. I'm not converting, Tina. I don't know what's going on. And I know Tina S hears this all the time. It's the calls. It's the call. The market's changed. It's the new market we're in. Everything's shifting. Nobody's really serious. Maybe the problem is your mindset and you. And I know that's harsh. I know it is. But that is reality, because I know that there's people in the office that have a very high conversion rate with calls and open houses. And I know that there are people in the office that have a very low conversion rate. And I'm going to tell you guys right now that the people that have a low conversion rate are even thinking in their mind, oh, the calls they're stacked against us. Tina's hand picking what calls go to who. She's got favorites. I know she does. I'm getting the bad calls. They're getting the good calls. I can tell you right now, that's not what happens. What happens is it's a numbers game. It is 100% a numbers game. Guys, the average closing ratio is for every 10 people that you talk to, 1 is going to buy from you or sell with you. That is the average. Okay, but let's take it a step further. When you're getting realtor.com calls, when you're getting Zillow calls, I was just reading an article yesterday with my boyfriend that was insane to me. Have you guys ever looked on Zillow's numbers, their conversion rates, when they're talking about how many properties, like how many properties people viewed, how many people are coming to their site, how many of them asked to speak to a realtor, and from that number, how many of those purchased a home? 3%. 3%. They said in this article, we know we need to get better. Our goal is to make our conversion rate 6%. Really? 6%? And then we're rock stars because we close 6%. But let me tell you guys something. You guys have a higher conversion rate in your office because of your broker, because she's really good at converting calls. She's really, really good at it. How do you think she does that? She does discovery. Her and I have talked about it. She does discovery. She does information confirmation. And then guess what? After discovery and information confirmation, guess what comes next? The close. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and set up your search for you today with everything that we discussed that you're hoping for. As you know, there's not a ton of homes on the market right now, but I can assure you we will find you a home. And guess what? There's more homes coming on every day at this time. And while we're doing that, we need to make sure that your financing is in order. Are you guys going to be paying cash, or do we need to get you with a lender to get pre-qualified? Because that's going to be important if we find the home that you fall in love with and you can't purchase it because we don't have that taken care of. And I don't want to do that to you. And they're like, okay, all right, I'll do that. Then you go into the wonderful, what day would you like to start looking at homes? I have Friday afternoon available and I have Saturday morning available. Do either of those days work for you? Now, guys, you have earned the right. If you have gone through everything that they are hoping for, if you have gone through the why they're hoping for those things, and if you have gone through the information confirmation to show that you are listening and empathizing with what they're looking for and where they are in their life, you have absolutely 100% earned the right to ask for an appointment. But are we asking for the appointment? Or are we afraid? Because you guys have a lot of leads out there from the calls that you've been getting with no appointments. You do, because Tina goes over all the numbers with me and I'm looking at them, which is why we're doing this training tonight. Because I want to see you guys successful. So how many of you, raise your little hand or a thumbs up in your screen, how many of you are actually asking for the close after you've done a proper discovery and an information confirmation? Okay. Anybody else? I've got Margaret, I've got Tina. Lisa, okay, I can believe that. All right, so we've got Caitlin, who's got a frowning face. Caitlin, take yourself off of mute for a minute, please, can you?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Can
Why do
you
you do a frowning face?
Because I don't know. I just feel like I get nervous on the phone and I'm not confident. So I've been working on that the last few days, I would say. I just really kind of dove into doing it full time recently.
Yeah, I know. And I hear that you're doing a great job, but let's talk about this. What is the fear?
I think just this is a new whole new career for me. And so I'm still not like 100% confident in everything I say. But I do feel like once I get in front of people, I'm a lot better. I just get kind of nervous that they think I'm young or like inexperienced. So I just get nervous. But I have seen over the last 2 days, I even set up an appointment for tomorrow with a lead. So I do think I'm getting better. I just need to keep doing it, you know, more full time and keep taking classes and stuff. Like really just dedicating myself more than I was before.
Absolutely. Absolutely 100%. Now, here's the thing. You guys are going to mess up. You are. You're going to mess up. You're going to get off the phone sometimes, or you're going to walk out of an open house and you're going to be like, crap, I missed that. I didn't ask that question. Sometimes you can salvage it. What if you forgot to ask, like about the backyard? Or what if you forgot to ask about the garage? Or what if you forgot to ask about the kitchen? Why can't you call them back and say, you know what? I feel so silly, but I forgot to ask you a really important question. Do you know how much they're going to appreciate how human you are? I want you guys to think about that. When you're talking to somebody, do you like the person that you believe knows absolutely everything, but you're not connecting? Or do you prefer the person that can say, you know what? I totally forgot this. I am so sorry. I got to ask this question. That's a real person. Who do you relate to more? The person that owns it and says, you know what? I had to call you back because I forgot to ask this really important question. And I don't want to mess up. So it's okay to be human. Guys, I mess up on stage all the time. Fumble my words, forget the story I'm going to tell, have to come up with another one really fast. I'm like, man, was that even relatable to what I was just talking about? It happens when you're not a scripted person. And I do not believe fully in scripts. I believe that you need a script or something like it to have a baseline to go off of, but it has to become you. It has to become who you are. Because that's what makes you authentic. And that's what people like, is the person who's authentically yourself. So if you fumble, it's okay. If you forget something, it's okay. If you totally epically fail, then guess what? On to the next one. Did you learn something? Probably. Are you going to do it again? No. So it wasn't a failure because you just learned what not to do. Some days you're not 100% on your game. Some days you wake up and you have a headache, hopefully not because of alcohol or anything, but you know, it happens. You wake up, you're hungover even, you have a headache, you were up really late, you were having a good time with your family, your friends, your significant other, whatever, and you're just not totally on the ball. You're gonna mess up. It's okay. And on those days, you're going to learn something about yourself that you need to take it a little more seriously and maybe get to bed on time the night before. Because you're going to be tortured all day long because you're tired and your head hurts. So just don't do that again. We're human. We make mistakes. We're not going to catch everything because we're human and we make mistakes.
Did you
but owning your mistakes is better. What was that?
Did you see Caitlin's comment in the chat?
No, what'd she say?
She said, I feel so much pressure to know everything and every answer, and I have to remember that's not reality.
It's not reality. And Caitlin, you're a perfectionist. Okay, we know that. That's one of the reasons that Tina hired you. We talked about it. We knew you were going to be that way. Okay, but here's the thing. The perfectionist is the hardest on themselves. It is the way that it is. I got to tell you guys, my assistant, Mariah, she calls me, she's freaking out. She's like, I messed up. Okay, why are you freaking out? Sometimes she'll even be mean to me. And I'm like, why are you acting that way? And she goes, because I messed up and you're going to be mad at me. I'm like, do I ever yell at you? Do I ever freak out? No. Did you learn something? Yes. Okay, moving on. Oh, the other question I asked her is, can it be fixed? Because, you know, that's important for me in my world. Can it be fixed? But there's no way that any of us can know everything. There is still things that Tina will call me and say, okay, have you ever heard this before? We did it today.
What's today?
What the hell is a Lisa stopple? I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, at least that was your deal.
They require it, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, and she's like, well, it's in our contract. And I'm like, well, can Tidal get it for you? She's like, yeah, they said they can get it. Great. Okay, so it's not an issue, but what the hell? Who needs the freaking Lisa stopple? Some anal agent who believes that they need to show everybody that they need everything.
Do you see Lisa's comments? Seriously.
Help me, Lord.
Oh,
you guys are going to come across those agents that want to tell you, I have 36 years experience. I know what I'm doing. And their contract is totally screwed up.
Yep. Every
Oh
day.
yeah. Oh yeah. And you know how you handle those people? Oh, I am so glad to be working with somebody with your experience. You could probably teach me some things. Stroke that ego, because that's what they're trying to tell you is they need you to stroke their ego. Guess what? You're going to get clients who are going to tell you everything about themselves and how amazing they are. You need to say to them, you know what? I am so glad that I have met you, because now I can officially tell everybody that I have the most amazing client ever. I am so glad to know you. You're important. That's all they want to hear. They're telling you how awesome they are because they need to hear it. And that's the thing. You learn that over time. Caitlin, there is no way you can know everything. I've been in this business 21 years, built law offices for 10 years of that, worked with investors, worked with wholesalers, flipped homes, anything and everything you can imagine in real estate. I've been involved in it. And guess what? There are still days that something comes across in a transaction that I'm like, never seen that before. That's new. 21, almost 22 years. And law offices, imagine how many files I saw in law offices because I negotiated short sales. Think about how many crazy scenarios I saw. And I still get things where I'm like, I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute, like how to maneuver through this. The brokers call me sometimes to say, Tina, I have never seen this before. My attorney's not available. How would you handle this? And I'm thankful to be in that position. But what I want you guys to think about is 1 year experience, 3 months experience, 5 years experience, 22 years experience. That's 22 years of experience of seeing the craziest things anybody could ever imagine. And I want to tell you guys, I'm the girl that never saw something happen before. And it happened to be with my dad's sale. My dad was buying a home. And he's buying a home in Black Canyon City, which is up the mountain, okay, in Yavapai County, where they don't record anything right. I found this out in my dad's transaction. And I'm looking at the plot map online and I'm like, okay, well, it's showing that that house is on the property next door. And it's showing that their shed is on the property next door on the other side. And guess what? The land goes down the sides this way. And nobody ever said that to us. And Dad, I don't even understand. Well, my dad is stubborn and he didn't want to pay for a survey. So guess what I had to do, being the dutiful daughter? I'm climbing up the hills and the mountains where I'm sure there's rattlesnakes on that mountain. And I'm knocking on the doors of these homeowners saying, hi, I'm Tina. I'm the buyer's agent for the house next door. Hey, listen, so the plot map is showing that your house is slightly on that property line. Do you have your survey that I can take a picture of? And I was totally Aaron Brockoviching it up this mountain in the middle of these fields that probably weren't safe. My dad saw a bobcat the first week he moved in there. And here's me traipsing through the woods, right? So then I've never seen this before in my life. I had to, with the guy below him where the land is going like this, like little fingers down his side of the land, I had to do a land swap with that guy from my dad, but with the original owner. So I facilitated for this guy to give up some of his land to be able to get some of this land, even swap, but to make all the land square. And it had to be done before my dad closed, or my dad wouldn't close. So in the 5th hour and the 9th hour of the closing day, where we have a cure notice, because we get cure notices here, where if you don't close on time, you have 3 days that you have to close, 72 hours, you have to close by or it's null and void contract, you don't get your earnest money back. Okay, so we're in the 9th hour. It was 2 o'clock. The buyer or the sellers had not signed yet. My dad and my stepmom are waiting at the title company to sign as the mortgage company is trying to jump through hoops to get this done because we did a land swap and they didn't know what to do with that. My parents signed, the seller still hadn't signed. I had to send another cure notice because they were in breach. I've never seen any of this before. And lo and behold, after I started yelling at everybody, the title company and everything else, we recorded, because we have to record here in order to be closed. We recorded at 4:59. And if we would have recorded at 5, we would have been out of contract and my dad would have lost his $10,000 earnest money. My dad. I can't let my dad lose $10,000. Are you kidding me? So that's what I'm saying. This happened last December. Okay, 21 years, things come up. You guys are never going to know everything. But here's the important thing to remember. If you know what they want, you know the emotional reasons why. You understand them as human beings and they feel that you truly care about them. You can make mistakes and they will forgive you because they know your heart is in the right place. They know you care. So if you are constantly in battle with your clients, you might want to relook at the rapport that you're building with them, because chances are they feel like they're a number to you. If you are having a problem with your conversion rates, you need to dive deeper into discovery and information confirmation. If you are really having a hard year in real estate and you find yourself blaming the world, it's time to look in the mirror at yourself and change your mindset. There is nothing you guys can't accomplish with these tools. It doesn't matter how the market shifts. It doesn't matter what happens. As long as you follow these guidelines, you will convert. I don't care if you get 3 phone calls in a day as opposed to 10. If somebody's calling you, it's because they're legitimate at that point. Remember that. And there was another story I wanted to tell you guys, because I know the market is changing right now, and I wanted to touch on this just briefly. Is that okay, Tina? Okay. Guys, 22 years, I've lived through every shift the market could possibly go to. My boyfriend made more money in the last downturn of the market. My friend Nicholas made more money in the last downturn of the market. And it was because of mindset. It was because of shifting with the shift. So I want you guys to remember that. There is money to be made and there is people that need help as long as you shift with the shift. So don't worry, I'm going to be coming up with more trainings for you guys on the shift and how to maneuver in a shifting market. And that's going to be a really key part for you. But what I want you to remember is this. In Phoenix, the other day, it was 114 degrees. 114. My agents were out doing open houses. My brand new agent, who doesn't know any better, was bright-eyed and excited to be out there, even though it was hotter than balls as she was putting out those signs. It didn't matter because she was excited to be at that open house. Whereas my other agents who have been in the business a long time were grumbling. Nobody's going to come in. I'm not going to get anybody serious in here. So my new agent, I get there about an hour and a half in to check on her, see how she's doing, hang out with her for the rest of the time that she's there. She was scared to death to be there by herself because it was her first time, but you know what? She didn't care. She was going to do it. She was going to succeed. She had my book on her table, and between people coming in, she was reading the steps to make sure that she was doing them properly. Guys, if that house wasn't already under contract, she sold the house at the open house, on her first open house by herself in 114-degree weather. I was so proud of her. Not only that, 4 couples came in that day. She converted 3 of them. Why? Because she doesn't know any better. Because she's bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and excited. So I'm telling you right now, if you're having a problem converting, if you're having a problem getting business, if you're not having the closings that you want to get, it's time to look at yourself and figure out your mindset. It's time to make a change in you, not the market around you. So I'm going to open this up for questions. What do you guys have for me? And don't be shy. Anything?
I honestly don't have any questions, but it was a great training. I appreciate everything you've told us. It's very helpful.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you, Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
How about anything else? Anything unrelated even to this? I'm an open book. So if you guys have questions about the market, if you guys have questions about a specific client, if whatever, you can throw them out at me. It does not have to be about the topic today. You're welcome. Tina, you're on mute. I can't hear you. I see your lips.
I said, if you guys don't have anything, come on. This is your opportunity to ask her anything you want.
No? And guys, I want you to know something. Tina pays me as her coach to make you guys better. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, Tina gave up her coaching hour this week so that I could come talk to all of you guys. So Tina, in essence, paid for me to be here for you guys. So I think that deserves a huge thank you to Tina. So, all right, guys. Well, so if you don't have any questions for me, that is all that we have today. Be well, go kill it. Don't let your mindset get in your way.